Jeter will play his final game against the Toronto Blue Jays and close out a 20-year career. Jeter is destined to be a Hall of Famer and arguably the first unanimous Hall of Famer in the history of baseball. He's had another good series today. He is the DH. So let's take a look at the lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays. They try to even this 4-game series. Top of the order is Jose Reyes, and Jose Bautista's had a good series against the Yankees. He's hit 2 home runs in this series. 4 RBIs. He has 5 walks and has scored 6 runs, and right behind him, Edwin Encarnacion has had a good season against the Yankees, a .339 average with 6 extra base hits, and he has driven in 6 runs against the New Yorkers. And they are set to take on Masahiro Tanaka. He made his first big league start against the Blue Jays back at Rogers Center early in April.
He'll make his 19th start here today, his first start since July the 8th. He was placed on the 15-day disabled list with the right elbow inflammation on the 9th, transferred to the 60-day DL September, and then he missed 65 games for the Yankees. He had the inflammation. He has a slight tear in his ulnar collateral ligament, but he will get the start today. He's on a pitch count, about 70 or 75 pitches. And against the Blue Jays, he made his big league debut against the Blue Jays.
Defensively behind Tanaka, a bit different look once again. Young is in left field, Gardner in center, and the 10-time Gold Glover Ichiro Suzuki is in right. On the infield, Chase Headley's at third base, but Brendan Ryan gets the start in place of Derek Jeter. Stephen Drew's at second base, and Francisco Cervelli makes his 3rd start at first base. Brian McCann back behind the plate to catch Tanaka.
And you knew it had to come someday. Get used to it, everybody. Nobody named Jeter is not penciled in at shortstop. Brendan Ryan will get the start here this afternoon.
Brendan Ryan at short. Tanaka is set. Reyes in the box. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's up and away, and we are underway. Reyes 0 for 5 in the game yesterday. He had a 3-hit game on Friday night. 286 for the season. Pops this one up. Cervelli, the first baseman, will watch it sail into the seats out of play. Francisco Cervelli's playing first base. Mark Teixeira left the game yesterday after his second at bat, and he injured his surgically repaired wrist. It's sore. He's out of the lineup today. So Cervelli takes over at first.
The lineup was very late coming out today by the Yankees. We came down on the field today, saw Cervelli playing first base, and we said, that's why the lineup is late. I want to see if Cervelli can handle it over at first base, so he'll be there this afternoon.
2-1. Tanaka, as Pat mentioned, making his 19th start of the season. He got off to a terrific start with New York. Over the glove of Stephen Drew into right. Reyes with a leadoff single. Jose Bautista will step into the box. He has homered in 5 of the last 6 games against the Yankees, including a leadoff home run in the 7th yesterday.
What's rare about this one yesterday, it went to right field. Inside-out swing on that ball down and away from it. He drives it into the second row here at Yankee Stadium for the home run. Bautista is just lighting up the Yankees, and I think he just loves playing here.
Did very well against New York. Of course, this season he has 6 runs scored. In this series, he has 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's walked 5 times in this series. The knockout down and away.
You better bring your A game against the Blue Jays in the first inning, because they could pile on some numbers against you. 6 games, Buck, on this road trip. They've scored in the first inning 4 times.
Yet they've managed just 1 win. What are you going to look for from Tanaka that might indicate that he is sound and can go into the offseason with peace of mind?
I think the depth on his breaking ball. You can see the splitter is such a big part of what he does. If he can snap that ball off, or if his breaking ball, if he's not holding back with that elbow injury, if he's got the good late life to his fastball. For me, if a hitter today, I want to see his velocity. I want to see if he's got that velocity that we saw earlier in the year. If he has that, then it tells me that his arm is feeling pretty good.
Bautista may have gotten a piece of that splitter. Last 10 games against the Yankees, big numbers for Jose. 6 homers, 14 RBIs, and you're right, Pat. He likes the competition, likes playing against the perception of what is the best, and the Yankees have always been that high standard.
It's always been a full house here at Yankee Stadium for his whole career. The Rabbit fans, they get into it. It's loud, it's boisterous. We want to beat the best. They've always had great teams here.
Base hit for the right side. Bautista crosses up the shift. Reyes is headed for third, and Ichiro's throw is not in time. Once again, the Blue Jays creating havoc here in the first inning.
And it's Reyes and Bautista and Encarnacion, Navarro, a little bit of everything. So you better bring that A game early on. We're starting to see this a little bit more from hitters, taking advantage of what the defense gives you. You've got the whole right side to work with, and Jose says, okay, thank you very much. I will just hit a ground ball easily to the right side. He was on base all 5 times yesterday, and he's got a good start this afternoon.
Yeah, you're going to see more and more of this as hitters recognize they've got to counteract the shifts and go the other way. Reyes with the head first slide into third. It's first and third for Encarnacion. Nobody out. Tanaka signed a 7-year, $155 million contract as a free agent to come to New York. He was a terrific pitcher in Japan, and certainly his final season in Japan, he went 24-0. Everybody said, well, that's not going to hold up in the big leagues. They're going to hit him around. Well, this just did. He went 18 straight games, throwing 6 or more innings, and he got off to a 6-0 start. The first Yankee rookie to go 6-0 to start his career since Whitey Ford did it in 1950.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Pretty good. He was also the American League's ERA leader through the first 3 months of the season, so he wasn't a 1-month wonder. He was putting it together before he got injured.
Ground ball to short. Ryan comes after it quickly. They get one at second. And in time, Stephen Drew looked up and saw he had a chance to get Encarnacion. And after pumping once, he regripped and threw a strike to get Encarnacion. That cost Edwin a RBI.
An RBI. And Edwin is not running as well as he has because of that quad injury. Bautista does his thing where he slides into the base and tries to take the feed out from Drew. But he jumps, replants himself, and then gets the out at first. You can see Edwin, he's trying to push it to be safe. He just doesn't want to overdo it and hurt that leg again.
Encarnacion has 90 RBIs. John Gibbons is out on the field, and he was waiting for the thumbs up or thumbs down from the dugout. He got the thumbs down, so he jogs back into the dugout. So Encarnacion does not get an RBI, but the Blue Jays have taken a lead here in the first. 5 times on this road trip they have scored in the first inning. Well, Brendan Ryan, there's no question he could play shortstop.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Defensively, he is a wizard out there. He's got great range, soft hands, strong arm. But you're following a legend.
Breaking ball in there for a strike to Deanna Navarro. 1-0 Jays. Navarro has put together one of his best seasons. He's set a new career high with 69 RBIs. He has one off his career high with 12 home runs. He had 13 a year ago for the Chicago Cubs in limited action.
It's a great ballpark for him right here. Get that ball to right field. Just get it up in the air. He started as a Yankee. In fact, he was traded for Randy Johnson early in his career.
0-2. There's that wicked split. Tanaka strikes out Navarro to end the first, but the Blue Jays get a couple of hits and a run. Double play saves Tanaka. Half games back, and they're going to have to get red hot if they hope to make up ground in that department. Take a look at the lineup for the Yankees and Derek Jeter. He's in the lineup today, but he is the DH, and Jeter is batting second behind Brett Gardner. In this series, he's gone 6 for 13. He came into the series not really swinging all that well, but the Blue Jays bring out the best in Derek Jeter. He has a double and a home run in this series and has driven in a pair. Chase Headley was acquired in July to shore up the infield. He's done a nice job against the Blue Jays this year. He's hit .345, 10 for 29 with 4 extra base hits. Cervelli's at first and Brendan Ryan's at short. Jeter is the DH this afternoon.
Drew Hutchison takes the mound for the Blue Jays for his 31st start of the season, looking for his 11th win of the year. Very good, I thought, in his last start. 11 strikeouts. That's a career high against the Baltimore Orioles. He pitched into the 7th inning, gave up 4 runs early in that game, and then 2 more after he left the game. So his bottom line didn't look very good, but I thought he threw the ball extremely well. He had probably his best slider of the season, his best breaking ball.
He really pitched a lot better than the line would suggest. When you really look at the line, you say, well, that wasn't so good. But he had 11 strikeouts, and as you mentioned, that sets a new career high. Brett Gardner shows bunt takes a ball. Gardner, a .258 hitter for the season. Lately, he has been scuffling at plate, and he's been dealing with an abdominal strain. Pops this one into shallow right. Goins going out. Second baseman gets called off by the right fielder, Bautista. Jeter's former teammate, obviously had some words for him as he steps in the box for the final time against the Blue Jays. Navarro came up to the big leagues in 2005 with the Yankees.
We have seen it for 20 years. This is Derek Jeter. He's played 2,899 Major League games. That's including the playoffs. What's impressive about that is won 1,721 of those games. Think about that. And he talks about it all the time, Jeter. I come to play, I come to compete, I come to try and win a ball game. Well, he has done it. Only Pete Rose has more wins than him.
He has set a high standard, that's for sure. Drives this ball into center. Anthony Gose. It's over, makes the catch. 2 down. So Jeter flies out in his first at bat. He is one of just 12 active hitters hitting over 300 for their career.
It's amazing. It's not like he's done it 5, 6, even 10 years. He's had it for 20 years. He could go 0 for the rest of the season and still finish as a career 300 hitter.
2 down. Drew Hutchison now will deal with Brian McCann, the catcher. McCann in his first season with the Yankees, and it's been an adjustment. He had to come over here and learn the pitching staff first and foremost. He takes a lot of pride in his ability to help out a pitching staff.
You know, what did we say the last time we were here at Yankee Stadium and we were reading all the articles about he's had a bad year and he's not going to do this and he hasn't done that? We said he's going to finish with somewhere between 20 and 25 home runs, 70 to 80 RBIs, won't hit for a high batting average, and handle a very good pitching staff.
He's done just that. There's a high fly ball to right. Bautista at the track, at the wall. Number 21 for McCann. And the Blue Jays, as often as they have scored in the first inning on this road trip, so have their opponents. Brian McCann, his 69th RBI, and it's a 1-1 game.
Last time that the Blue Jays had Drew Hutchison on the mound. They got a run in the first inning against the Orioles. 3 came right back in the bottom of the inning. A 3-run home run by Steve Pearce, and now it's the home run once again, this time by Brian McCann. That typical Yankee Stadium home run, the high fly ball to right field. It drops into the stands.
That's a fly ball at Rogers Center, but we're not at Rogers Center, and it's a tie game. Hutchison giving up his 22nd home run of the season. Chris Young in the 5th spot. Young is the left fielder today. There's that slider you were talking about, and it has more depth at the end of the season, which I think really speaks volumes about the type of season Hutchison has had. Again, he throws it, and it's a strike. Not only is it better at the end, which he has tried to improve upon, but he's still throwing it with a late break. That means he's still strong.
Just watch the hitters, the way they go after it, and the way they swing and miss, or they'll take it. Their knees will buckle just a little bit, and they will be frozen at the plate.
It's a fly ball. Goins out on the outfield grass. He gets under it and makes the catch. The inning is over. But Brian McCann with a 2-out home run off Hutchison. It's a 1-1 game as we enter the second in New York.
Brought to you by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle, fit your fun, fit whatever. And by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Number 2 will be retired as Derek Jeter's career comes to an end, and they have commemorated his great career with the patch that they have worn on their uniforms for the last 2 weeks. Dan Johnson gets a start at first base this afternoon. He hadn't played for a while, and Johnson came up and did a nice job, and then he had a hamstring injury, went on a disabled list, and this is just his second appearance since July 30th. He had one at bat on the 14th of September.
Said he hurt that hamstring in Boston, and then hurried and got back in the lineup on a rehab assignment. Didn't really play much at Buffalo when they sent him there. He said he's seen 5 pitches in about the last 4 weeks.
It's that breaking ball. Chase Headley in the shift throws him out. Masahiro Tanaka making his 19th start of the season. He was a star in Japan, and he's got a wide assortment of pitches, and you wonder how he can command so many pitches.
But he does. He's got excellent control. He's got excellent command. He'll use the fastball, splitter, slider, curveball, cutter, just a little bit of everything. And what's interesting about him, I was talking to Tony Pena the first time the Blue Jays saw him, and I said, what makes him so tough? He said, if his fastball's not working, he's got other pitches that he can go to. He can go to the splitter. splitter. He can go to the cutter. If those aren't working, he can go to his curveball, or he can go to another pitch. He can do so many different things with that baseball.
Munenori Kawasaki goes after the pitch and drills it down into the right field corner. Kawasaki played against Tanaka in Japan and had a .280 career average against him. So he steps up and whacks the first pitch down into the right field corner.
So he knew exactly what was coming from him. You normally he's up there taking pitches and taking his time working over the pitcher, but he knows Tanaka and he doesn't waste any time. First pitch, slams it into the corner for extra bases.
One out double. For Kawasaki, that's his 7th double of the season. Dalton Pompey, the youngster, starting for the 3rd time. He's back in left field this afternoon.
You know, if you remember that start back here, gave up a couple of home runs early in that ball game. They were off of fastballs. And then Tanaka started going to more off-speed pitches against the Blue Jays. Started using the splitter a little bit more, his curveball. And that's what's impressive about the guy. If something's not working early on, he's got something else to fall back on.
The Yankee coaching staff believes that Tanaka's background as a catcher has really allowed him to make the transition here to major leagues. He understands baseball. He was a hitter and a good hitter, and he was a catcher, so that gives him an understanding how you have to make adjustments, and he's been able to make adjustments on the fly here.
He had to make adjustments against the Blue Jays. His first pitch of the big leagues was knocked out of the ballpark.
We mentioned Tanaka is the first rookie since Whitey Ford to go 6-0 to start the season. Ford did that in 1950. And he became the first Yankee pitcher to win at least 11 of his first 12 starts since Roger Clemens started that way in 2001. 2-1 to Dalton Pompey. It's a 1-1 game. Bounced up the first baseline. Cervelli will tag Pompey for the 2nd out. Looked like a breaking ball, and Cervelli tagged out Pompey before he got to the bag at first. 2 down. Kawasaki went to 3rd. Brian Goins is 0 for 2 against Tanaka. He'll bat with 2 outs and a runner at 3rd. Goins is starting in this series for the first time. Tanaka doesn't seem to be restricted on which pitches he's going to throw. We've seen a little bit of everything early on.
We've seen the curveball, we've seen the splitter, the fastball. He will be restricted in the pitch count. Joe Girardi was saying it's somewhere between 70 and 75 pitches that we will see from Tanaka this afternoon.
Late movement to get down and away from Goins. It's a ball and a strike. Boy, the Yankees defense playing Goins straight away, and they're playing shallow in the outfield. So if he gets a hold of one, triple chance to hit it over their head.
Yeah, if he gets it by him in the outfield, you can see the gaps in straightaway center field. If he can get it by him, that's 3 for sure.
Hard splitter is fouled off at the plate.
What's impressive about that splitter, you see Joe Girardi, that's Steve Donahue right in the middle, the trainer, and Tony Pena talking. What's impressive about that slider is his ability to command it. It looks like a strike. You don't see him bounce it too many times. You don't see one slip out of his hands too many times. It's always down in the strike zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Another splitter, another foul. The baseballs in the major leagues are quite a bit different than they are in Japan. In Japan, they're a little bit coarser covered, and they're a little bit tackier than the Major League Baseballs. And a lot of pitchers, when they first come to the major leagues, have trouble when they come from Japan with the slickness of the baseball. But we've not seen any of that with Tanaka.
None at all. Hands get over that baseball. He's got big fingers that he can use that split. Drop it right down in the lower part of the strike zone. Look where all the pitches are to Ryan Goins.
Comes back and strikes him out. Blue Jays get a runner to third base, but leave him right there. A couple of strikeouts for Tanaka. We'll go to the bottom of the second. It's a 1-1 game. Insiders from Sportsnet.ca cover every angle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Breaking news, photos, videos, and tweets. The Blue Jays rundown only on Sportsnet.ca. And the headline on the rundown, Marcus Stroman gets 6-game suspension, cut to 5. And he has accepted that suspension. He has begun his suspension today. That make him eligible to pitch on Friday. Baltimore Orioles will be at Rogers Center. We have not been given any information at all about whether or not he will indeed make that start on Friday. Right out in front of home, Navarro calls for it, makes the throw to first. Chase Headley's retired, 2-3 on the putout.
I would assume that Marcus would make that start on Friday, maybe even Saturday. Depends on what they do. The problem is with a 5-game suspension, that's 5 spots in the starting rotation. The Blue Jays are going to have to come up with somebody for Thursday's game. And right now the plan is Todd Redmond to start, and then all the young kids who are sitting out in that bullpen, maybe a couple of innings each.
Nolan, Norris, Graveman were all starters in the minor leagues, but they haven't pitched in so long that you would probably not want to push them more than 2, maybe 3 innings at the most. Francisco Cervelli moves up into the 6th spot, and he is aggressive. He's been a Blue Jay killer this season.
He has hit the ball hard. Even when he makes outs, he's been hitting the ball hard. He just goes up there. He's aggressive. Sees something in the strike zone. He goes up there and hacks away.
Girardi and Brian McCann are going to chat. Probably Girardi's probably getting the feel for McCann's thoughts on Tanaka. Cervelli this season against the Blue Jays has hit .407, 11 for 27. For his career, he's a .330 hitter against the Jays.
Extra base hits, RBIs, a little bit of everything, and he brings it every day.
Cervelli's had some injuries, and it has really robbed him of some playing time. But he's starting to develop now into one of the better backup catchers in all of baseball. He's behind Drew Hutchison 1-2. Nice block by Navarro.
He had a hamstring problem. Cervelli also had a time where he had headaches, where he was out of the ball game. For catcher, they've been getting knocked around. We've seen it all season long. Those catchers getting those foul balls. Missed 13 games with headaches. Speaking of that, Deanna Navarro was telling me yesterday that he's got a new face mask starting to wear in yesterday's ball game.
You can see the face mask he has on now has plastic covering over the bars. It's a steel mask. It is heavier in weight than the other mask. It was made with a titanium cage, and he has opted for the sturdier, heavier steel mask, and Hutchison won't want to do that. And that's that one get away as Cervelli walks. Defensively in the outfield, Pompejos and Bautista, terrific speed, cover a lot of ground. Kawasaki gets the start at third base, his 14th. Reyes and Gordon's up the middle. Dan Johnson making his 6th start at first base, and Deanna Navarro for the 98th time as a starting catcher for the Blue Jays this season.
And there's Dan Johnson over at first base. He'll get the start today. Adam Lind was a little banged up. His back was bothering him on a stretch that he had the other day. And Edwin Encarnacion's back's been barking just a little bit. So John Gibbons gives Dan Johnson the start today at first base.
Stephen Drew fouls back the first pitch. Drew this season against the Blue Jays a .262 hitter. That includes his time with the Boston Red Sox. He's hit .166. Drew was victimized by that free agent compensation that is put on a free agent if he is offered a qualifying offer. And he didn't sign until the end of May. I have talked to him about that. He said it really needs to be addressed because you are supposed to be a free agent and have no restrictions. But a lot of clubs nowadays value the importance of that compensation draft pick and will not sign a free agent if they have to give up their pick.
And don't you think agents are taking a look at Stephen Drew to see what kind of year he has, because he missed all of spring training and pretty much the first 2 months of the baseball season? He's hitting .160.
Yeah. And you just can't keep players out. You got to get them signed. But in the next basic agreement, they've got to look at that compensation price tag. That's a steep tag for a lot of players. And you're going to get people offering, like the Blue Jays situation. They'll make a qualifying offer to Melky Cabrera and anticipate that he will sign a free agent contract. And if he doesn't sign with the Blue Jays, the Jays will get a compensatory pick. But I agree with Stephen Drew. If you're a free agent, you should be a free agent.
No strings attached.
No strings attached.
Nothing.
You play 6 years in the major leagues, and you shouldn't have to have an extra price tag put on you. I think that's going to be something discussed in the next basic agreement discussions.
Well, he was looking for a multi-year contract. Now the qualifying offer is just a 1-year deal. That's the problem too.
Just popped out. Center fielder Anthony Gose hits back and he makes the catch. 2 down. Drew Hutchison came into the season as a fastball pitcher, and he still used his fastball a lot, but the slider has improved so much. Notice the batting average against that slider.
Yeah, the breaking ball, it's got a lot of break to it. There's a lot of movement to it. They're hitting just 192 against that slider. Earlier in the year, he's getting on the side of it, and it was just spinning up there. Now he's getting on top of it, and it's breaking more. And in Baltimore, we talked about the game that Drew had against the Orioles, 11 strikeouts. Jim Palmer said his breaking ball is like Burt Blyleven's curveball. That's high praise right there.
It sure is. And of course, Palmer's a Hall of Famer, as is Blyleven. But Blyleven had one of those breaking balls everybody talked about.
I think he was talking about the reference of how hard his breaking ball is and how much it's moving now. Got a lot of swings and misses off of it against the Orioles.
There are a lot of theories about why the breaking ball would improve for Hutchinson, but I think one thing that has to do with it is he's got more strength the further he gets away from his Tommy John surgery.
I think that's the #1 reason. Right there. And you're constantly adjusting and you're constantly tinkering with grips and ways to throw pitches.
Ichiro singles into right. Bautista has to get over and cut it up. Cervelli's going first to third. It goes all the way to the wall. Ichiro is now headed for shortstop, and nobody was there at second base. Ichiro making the turn, anticipating that Cervelli was going to score. They got halfway between second and third and shut it down.
Bobby Thompson, the third base coach for the New York Yankees, was waving him in. He was watching the throw from Jose Bautista in the outfield to see if it was a good throw. And when he put on the brakes, he was waving him. He put on the brakes late, and he slipped, and he fell coming around third base. Watch it. Here's Robbie saying, come on. He watched the throw, and he slipped. He goes down. Ichiro on the back end was anticipating that, and he was coming to third base. But there was no place to throw the balls. It was cut off. He's thinking about scoring right here. Hits the bag hard. Has to throw on the brakes, slips and goes down. There's no play on him. Here comes Ichiro. He's anticipating that, and there's nobody at second base to throw behind him.
Brendan Ryan makes a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Ryan, a 190 hitter. He's a utility player serving a backup role. And the breaking ball. Robbie Thompson threw on brakes late, and Cervelli was indeed thinking about scoring. He had already seen the wave, and then Thompson read the throw and shut him down.
That's what Robbie was watching. He was watching the throw from Jose, that if the throw got away from Goins or over him, if he missed the cutoff man, he was going to send him.
Foul back. It's 1-2.
You've seen that before. The short hops coming in from the outfielders, and they overthrow the cutoff man. The job of the outfielder, once it's an extra base hit, your only job is to pick the ball up and throw it to the cutoff man. You don't have to throw it home. You don't have to hit the second guy. Just hit him right in the chest.
Hit the cutoff man. 1-2. 2 outs. Grounded foul. Well, Cervelli did exactly what Rob Thompson wanted him to do. He ran anticipating scoring. And coaches will tell their base runners, give me 100% effort and I will stop you. Don't be a coach yourself. You'll see a lot of base runners looking over their shoulder making a judgment whether or not they should try to score. It's just barely foul, and that would have been trouble.
Would have been 2 for short. It's hard to score a guy from first base on a double to right field in this ballpark. Just like it is to score a guy at Fenway Park on a double to left field because of the short distance down the line. But you run hard just in case the defense makes a mistake.
Bryant fouls back that high fastball. He was able to get on top of it. One and two. It's a 1-1 game. Yankees are threatening to break the tie here in the second. Brendan Ryan was signed as insurance against Jeter's health. Whether or not he was going to play, it was a big question. There's a breaking ball, and Ryan strikes out. Navarro will complete the strikeout by going to first, and Hutchinson strands a pair, his first strikeout of the afternoon. you'll follow the action of September pennant races. Make sure you check it out. That brings you baseball wherever you are with live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, and highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. MLB app, check it out. Certainly this time of the season, you want to make sure you can see as many games as possible and keep track of what's going on. And yesterday there was a lot of goings on. How about in Kansas City, where the Royals lost a run? They took a run off the scoreboard. Then Sal Perez failed to re-tag third base on a line drive. The Tigers threw it around. He came in to score and was later called out for not re-tagging third base.
And wouldn't you know it, they lost by 1 run.
Then he goes, lifts a fly ball into center. Gardner is there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet, brought to you by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle, fit your fun, fit whatever.
Pittsburgh Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers had a 1-0 game. Brewers won 1-0 on a sac fly in the 8th inning. And they had some bad blood brewing again. Brewers had a dust up way back early in the season. Carlos Gomez was strutting around the bases and Garrett Cole didn't like it, and they had a benches clearing brawl at that point. And then yesterday they hit Andrew McCutchen twice in a scoreless game. Matt Garza was ejected for hitting him a second time.
Our old pal Travis Snyder was in on that first one, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Travis Snyder was out there trying to settle the score. Reyes singled and scored the Blue Jays' only run. That came back in the first.
Teams
hits that one into the seats.
Right into the seats. Right off of a guy's arm. But teams are fighting to get into the playoffs. Literally fighting to get into the playoffs, some of these guys.
Well, the Brewers are hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. After leading, what, all season long?
They're out of the picture in the Central. St. Louis has a 3.5 game lead over the Pirates. Milwaukee's in third. Reyes reaches for it, hits it on the ground to second. 2 down. Today in Pittsburgh, the Brewers will send to the mound Willie Peralta against Vince Worley. That'll be an interesting game. You just hope that bad blood doesn't spoil into this game. Just play a good, clean game and may the best man win.
Peralta's had a big year for Milwaukee. He's won 16 games. Pirates have that destiny in their hands. They go out there and win, they'll be fine. They'll be in.
Take care of business. Jose Bautista takes a breaking ball for a strike. Pittsburgh has the second wild card spot. They are behind San Francisco. They have a 1 game lead. The Giants have a 1 game cushion in the wild card. Milwaukee 3.5 behind Pittsburgh. They're on the outside looking in, and certainly they can cut that to 2.5 this afternoon. Seattle has split their first 6 games on this trip. Anaheim and Houston, and they'll come to Toronto. Chase Headley. Oh, he hung in there. Headley to the glove side, takes a line drive away from Bautista, and the Blue Jays go down. 3 up, 3 down. Bautista hammers it, but right into the glove of the third baseman Headley. On a true story, Scorpion follows a group of brilliant misfits hired by Homeland Security to defend against high-tech threats. Series premiere Monday, September 22nd, 9 Eastern and Pacific on City. Last time the Blue Jays will play at Yankee Stadium this season.
That's how it works.
Blue Jays won yesterday, and they'll try to win today to even the series at 2 apiece.
Get him some more.
But Gardner takes a strike. He shortened up to bunt. Gardner is in the lineup, but he is certainly not 100%. He has been dealing with an abdominal strain, and you can just see the way he's running. He's not really running as well as he normally does.
Or swinging the bat. There's a little, I don't know what you want to call it. He's a little bit careful in the way that he swings.
Yeah, he's just not really turning the bat loose. You see his numbers, just 2 for his last 33. His double in the first inning yesterday snapped an 0 for 27.
And that really wasn't a, quote, ringing double. I mean, he looped it down the left field line. This guy's game. He's going to go out there and play. Jacoby Ellsbury, he's injured. He's out of the lineup. Mark Teixeira is out of the lineup. Carlos Beltran is out of the lineup this afternoon for the Yankees. And there it is. Once again.
Fans here yesterday, and I believe there are even more fans here today. Of course, the late Bob Shepard, a longtime PA voice for the Yankees, has been captured on audio, and they play Shepard introducing Jeter every time he comes to the plate.
We were talking the last time that he was up about wins and about all the games that he has played in and all that. Of the 2,740 career regular season games that Derek Jeter has played in, there's only been just one in which the Yankees had already been mathematically eliminated from the postseason. And that is, I think, all you need to know.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, what a tremendous statement about Jeter and why he plays the game, and the game is all about winning, and he's played just one game that didn't have an impact on the pennant race.
And he says it all the time. It's about competing, it's about playing, it's about trying to win today's ball game. I don't care if it's your last season, first season, 20th season, it doesn't matter. You go out there to play the game to win, and you know who appreciates that? All of these people right here, all of these fans. That's why they like this guy so much.
Jeter was signed when George Steinbrenner was the boss of the Yankees, and he always said the boss had a dramatic impact on his career, and here Hutchison strikes him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hutchison. That's 3 in a row. Jeter is being commemorated throughout this final homestand, and what they have done is they have put some of his great accomplishments on the bases. His number 2 and the fact that he is the Yankee captain on a second base there. And then there are other moments in his career that are captured on the sides of those bases, and you can bet those will all be auctioned off, and they will all go towards the Turn 2 Foundation, which was set up and established by Derek Jeter.
We had a shot today. We were talking to some of the Blue Jay players who are going around collecting commemorative baseballs that they're using in this series.
Yeah, the baseballs throughout the last couple of series have had the number 2. That patch that they wear on the uniform, that's right on the baseball. So those baseballs are going to be treasured items. Sean Nolan, who grew up on Long Island, he had one, and he had hoped to get it signed by Jeter.
Sent it over there this morning to get it autographed.
3-0 to McCann. He homered his first time up. He had the green light. That's the baseball that's being utilized in this series. And Sean Nolan got one of those baseballs and then had it sent across the clubhouse. And Jeter, always at the end of the series, will sign all the requests for the other players. The opposing teams will send items across, and he's been very accommodating. Brian McCann takes a 2-round walk down to snap a streak of 3 straight strikeouts for Drew Hutchison. Were you ever an autograph collector?
Yes, and talking to Sean today about what he is doing, going over there to send things over to Derek Jeter to have him sign. That happened with me and Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan was at the end of his career and saw him one day. I said, hey, can I get a couple of baseballs signed by? He said, no problem, just send them over to the clubhouse. Did, sign both of them, have them to this day. I mean, last couple of years in the big leagues, I started collecting bats and balls and everything against the great players that I played against.
Chris Young batting with 2 outs. I collected a lot of baseballs while I was playing, and I have put them away, and they're old in cases, and I've just got to open them up, and I'll be surprised by some of the names I have on them, I'm sure.
That's nothing like the collection we saw last night. Doesn't even come close.
Yeah. We had a little dinner at a place called Foley's here, and I'm going to mention that name because if you're a baseball fan and you come to New York, you have to go to Foley's. And he said he had over 3,000 baseballs in there, including a Roy Halladay perfect game ball. And it's just tremendous collection and a great mixture of entertainers, baseball players, umpires, managers, a who's who of baseball.
Yeah.
And it was truly a pleasure. We met the owner, and the owner showed us some of his favorite baseballs, and it's quite an interesting place. So we recommend it.
Saw the Roy Halladay baseball. What do you say? There's only 5 in existence?
5 of them. Young waves at that breaking ball. Now 2-2. So what was your favorite autograph that you collected over your time? I know you're a big Cincinnati guy.
Well, there's 2, right? Pete Rose and Johnny Bench. I was a professional player and went up and asked for their autographs. I felt like I was 10 years old again. I was shaking. I was sweating. I almost called him Mr. Bench and Mr. Rose. But I said, hey, Pete, hey, Johnny, hey, can you sign this for me?
You know what? When I was playing, it was quite a frequent occurrence. Old timers games.
Yes.
And the old timers games used to bring in Hall of Famers and guys from not only your team or the team you were playing, but from around baseball. And I used to buy dozens of baseballs to make sure I had a blank baseball for all the Hall of Famers when they came back.
Remember the Equitable Old Timers games?
It was awesome. Another walk. It comes with 2 outs. Back-to-back walks here in the 3rd. That's the 3rd walk issued by Drew Hutchison.
You know, that Equitable Old Timers that you were talking about, we were in Texas, and sometime in the 80s, I don't even remember, and Joe DiMaggio was the last guy called. And they happened to be staying in the hotel right next door to us, and I got everybody's autograph. But DiMaggio didn't give away the autographs. You know that. I had 1 ball left, and after the game, went over to the hotel, pressed the elevator, it opened up, and who was standing there?
Joe
DiMaggio. And I got in there, and I'm like, should I do it?
Absolutely, you should.
Yeah, I said, this might be the only chance. And I have 1 baseball left that was unsigned, and I asked him, and he put it on there.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
Chase Headley with 2 outs. Takes 1 down and away. Hutchison has 3 strikeouts. He's also allowed 3 walks. Yankees have 2 hits and the McCann solo home run, the only run of the game. That'll even the count at 1-1. Now it's 1-2. Hutchison thrown a lot of pitches already, and Todd Redmond's starting to crank it up down in the bullpen. We're just in the 3rd inning. Of course, Blue Jays have a lot of arms down there with the September call-ups. That gets away from Navarro, but McCann can't advance. Hutchinson has thrown an average of 20 pitches an inning.
Per inning. And you know what? For me, Drew doesn't have anything else to prove to the Blue Jays, John Gibbons, anybody. I think he has proven that he can take the ball, give you innings, pitch a full season in the major leagues. So there's really nothing else for him to prove right here.
He's thrown 177 innings for the season. He's pitching with 2 outs here in the 3rd. So he's up to 178 and a third. That's a tremendous accomplishment his first full season.
And as you get to the last few weeks of the regular season, players will start to put plateaus and say, okay, I want to get to this, or I'd like to drive in this many runs or win this many ball games. Drew's probably at that, thinking about the 180, 185, 190 inning plateau.
Well, he gets another strikeout, so the 2 walks don't factor in. The Yankees strand a pair, but go to the 4th. It's still a 1-1 game at Yankee Stadium. Encarnacion's had another terrific season. Not only when you consider what he's done against the Yankees, but when you look at what he's done over his last 3 seasons. He's among the leaders in baseball, but he is certainly the team leader in many of the big offensive categories.
Well, this is what you're looking for from your big RBI man, home run man. He's first in home runs, RBIs, on base plus slugging, at bats per home run, extra base hits. First in everything over the last 3 seasons. And this is a trend that we've seen now from Edwin. You can say he's a bona fide slugger, superstar. Now, he's done it more than 1 or 2 seasons.
The Blue Jays got him kind of as a toss-in the Scott Rowland deal from Cincinnati. And at one point, they even let him go. But he has worked hard. I remember when Edwin was sent back to AAA Las Vegas. I believe Chad Mottola was a AAA hitting coach at that time. And he said from the moment Edwin arrived at AAA, he didn't feel bad for himself. He didn't pout it. He came to work. He worked hard. He got his stroke back, and he made his way back to the big leagues. And now he's become one of the best power hitters in the game.
How many times have you seen guys go back down to AAA and they're sulking and they're feeling sorry for themselves and they're just a distraction to everybody else? And that's the one thing Chad said, that he wasn't a distraction. He set an example for the young players and worked hard. And when you see guys like that go down there, you say, well, you're not going to see him again. Well, he came back here and he's better.
Much better. There are many people that get demoted and don't show up. They've got 3 days to report, and they take their 3 days. But Edwin went right down there, got to work, and set his mind to getting back. And boy, has he come back. Terrific hitter. 1-2. Masahiro Tanaka. Ball is driven to center. Death Valley here in Yankee Stadium, and it's an easy play for Brett Gardner. Masahiro Tanaka, the Yankees starter in his first season in the major leagues. He has always been a star. They have a terrific high school tournament in Japan called the Koshien Tournament. I mean, it's a nationwide high school baseball tournament. It's been compared to March Madness in the NCAA. It has that kind of draw and that kind of appeal. Well, he won the championship as an 11th grader. He was in his junior year in high school. And when he signed with his professional team, Rakuten Golden Hawks, he was given the number 18 because in Japanese baseball, 18 is given to the ace. You see, he wears 19 with the Yankees. This is a fly ball into right. Suzuki is there. He makes the catch. Navarro's retired to that. But Kuroda, when he came here, I mean, when Tanaka came here, Kuroda had number 18. And 18 has always been given to the ace of his staff, and Hiroki Kuroda. Senior to Tanaka, of course, and Tanaka said, I'll take 19. That's fine.
And he's been fine.
Well, he's been better than fine. 2 outs. Dan Johnson grounded out his first time up.
Dan Johnson was telling me he faced Tanaka when he went to Japan 4 or 5 years ago when he was there. He said he faced him. I said, well, who's better, Tanaka or Kuroda? He said Kuroda, when he was younger at that age, had a better split finger fastball.
A better split?
Yeah, that's what he said. When he was younger, that was, he's 39 years old now.
But everybody characterizes Tanaka's splitter as the best they've ever seen. But so many pitchers in Japan really throw the split finger pitch. And Tanaka didn't start throwing it until 2010. So he has really refined it in a short period of time. 1-2, 2 outs. That hit him. Hit him into Jersey. He'll take his base. A 2-out hit batter and Johnson's award.
Probably heard us talking about Kuroda's splitter was better than his. So he drilled him.
Now he's going to hit Johnson.
I'm just kidding.
This is just inside, and if you're going to get hit by a pitch, that's exactly how you want to get hit. Into Jersey. There are no bruises.
Yeah.
Kawasaki doubled his first time up, came 1 out in the second. He was stranded at third base.
Jumped all over that first pitch. So what does Tanaka do? Throws him a breaking ball. That first pitch, Kawasaki saw his last at bat. He hit it into the corner in right field. That was his 8th extra base hit of the season. It was a first pitch fastball. So Tanaka throws some curveball first pitch.
Strike 2. Yeah, he's got enough weapons. We talked about his mound presence, how he can make adjustments midstream. He doesn't go into a game with a game plan and stick to it. He reacts to what he sees from the hitters, and he'll make adjustments accordingly.
Yeah, and how he feels. If the splitter's not working, he'll try the cutter. If the curveball's not working, he'll try something else.
0-2. Kawasaki stays alive. Munenori Kawasaki was a star in his own right in Japan. Played for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And he was a guy that was a great fielder. He made the best 9 team, which honors the best 9 players in their positions. He made that twice in his career. Strike 3 cut. Tanaka used that fastball and strikes out Kawasaki. Blue Jays leave another base runner. By 3.5. It's a 1-1 game. is now the manager for the Yankees, and he understands what the Yankees are all about. They're about winning. These division champions last 20 seasons, the Yankees have won 13 division titles. The Red Sox have won just 3 over that time frame, and the Rays and the Orioles, they both have division titles. Blue Jays are on the outside looking in over the past 20 seasons. This is his 7th year as a manager, and Girardi came at a time when the Yankees are really turning things around when he came here as a player.
Last time that the Yankees have not made the playoffs 2 years in a row, and that's probably going to happen again here, was 92-93. That's everybody in Toronto and Canada knows that was those great Blue Jay teams in 92 and 93. No playoffs in 94. And then the Yankees won in 95, and then you know who showed up in 96.
Derek Jeter. And Jeter was teammate with Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi was brought in from Chicago in the late Don Zimmer's time, was a Yankees coach, and they said, well, why are you bringing Joe Girardi in? He's not a star player. He said he's a winner. We're going to build a winner here, and Girardi's going to be a big part of it.
13 division championships.
And that's why it's such a shock around here, and they're talking about major changes. They let their farm director go, Mark Newman, after 25 years of service, and most of the people that follow the Yankees on a daily basis believe there are more changes and dramatic changes coming.
Well, they haven't had a core 4 come up, or those great players that dynasty was built on. Haven't had those for a long time here.
I think more than ever, you have to really pay attention to your farm system, make sure that you develop homegrown talent. And you're going to have them for at least 6 years. And you can develop camaraderie, chemistry, a team spirit. And it's going to take that long to do it.
The Yankees have had that over the last couple of years, where they have brought in players from their farm system. Cervelli's one of them, and Brett Gardner, and Dellin Betances, and David Robertson. But they haven't brought the guys in like they did in the early 90s.
You bring in an everyday catcher in Posada. You bring in an everyday shortstop in Jeter, an everyday center fielder in Bernie Williams, a closer and a starter, Mariano Rivera and Andy Pettit. Cervelli strikes out, and the Yankees, trying to get a shortcut to a championship, spend an awful lot of money. And now they have long-term contracts. Ellsbury and Tanaka are both 7-year contracts. McCann is a 4. Beltran is 3. But they are long-term contracts, and the guys are older.
Yeah.
Everyone but Tanaka, who's just 25.
But if your farm system's not bringing up that fresh talent year after year, that's the way to do it. You either have to trade for it, or you have to sign it. You have to overpay at some time for free agents to come to your team. There's no better way to build a winner than through your farm system. You got to have the best scouts, the best instructors, the best talent.
If you think about that core 4 when they started out as regulars in '96, they're the ones that set the rules. The players police themselves. You came in here and you knew immediately that you're going to have to shave your facial hair off. First of all, that's the boss's rule. But you're going to conduct yourself the way this guy played, Derek Jeter. Come out to practice, take ground balls every day, put your work in, run the bases hard, and that's the way we play as Yankees.
And if you didn't, you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it from the captain. He's going to let you know.
And Joe Girardi is right there to support him. 1-2, 1 out. Stephen Drew, the second baseman. The Blue Jays, they have some encouraging things happening, especially with the way the players have come up. Marcus Stroman has contributed dramatically. Made his 20th start yesterday. Aaron Sanchez has shown me that he can pitch in the big leagues and will get a chance to start next year. We have seen Pilar and Gose at times play very well. As Hutchison gets another strikeout. When you think about the future of the Blue Jays and where they might be headed, it's encouraging when you look at the Fab Five and their ages. Dalton Pompey, a switch-hitting center fielder, is just 21. Daniel Norris has rocketed through the minor league system, and he too is just 21. Sanchez has already established that he can pitch in the big leagues. He's 22. Stroman's 23. Hutchison's 24 and had a full season of starts. So this bodes very well for the future. But they're the guys that are going to set standards for this team for the long haul. We mentioned Vernon Wells and Lloyd Mosby, two of the long-term center fielders for the Blue Jays. They were both very young when they got their first opportunity. And why not give Dalton Pompey a chance? He's a switch hitter. He's played 285 games in the minor leagues in center field. And he's got speed.
If you feel like he is ready to handle the day in and day out rigors of being a major leaguer, that's the big question. He might need some more seasoning in the minor leagues. That's up to the baseball people and the Blue Jays to determine that.
Lloyd Mosby was 20 years old when he came up for the first time with the Blue Jays. Ichiro fouls it down the left side. That slices into the seats. Mosby started out as a right fielder. He played 77 games that first season. And next year in 81, he moved to center and played 10 years. Dalton Pompey making his second start in left field. He played yesterday afternoon in center field. That's his natural position. You can see Pompey looking around once he returned to his position in left field to make sure he was in the right position. He looked at the foul line. He looked at the fence behind him. He looked to see where Anthony Gross was. He's making sure that he was properly positioned.
It's a big ballpark. It's a big left field here, so you have to have your feel you can play off that center fielder.
Ichiro with another base hit, hits it to Pompey in left field. A 2-out single. Ichiro is 2 for 2.
They tried beating him with the fastball, and Suzuki was able to foul that one off, so they went to the breaking ball, and they just served it in the left field for a base hit. Talk about a guy with a magic wand right here. Slice it the other way.
Ichiro's first season in the majors, 2001. Came over from Japan just like Tanaka. Brendan Ryan goes after that fastball. Ichiro's been asked a lot about Derek Jeter. And Ichiro said, being here 14 years, there are only a few guys I could relate with that match the values I have toward the game and in general. Something I'd kind of given up on. And there's two guys I've played with that remind me of that, Derek Jeter and Ken Griffey Jr. Pretty good company.
Reminding him of what the game is all about. Respecting the game.
Ball and a strike to the shortstop, Brendan Ryan. Jeter is the DH this afternoon. There goes Ichiro. Navarro's throw is on the money, but late. Suzuki with his 13th steal. He's only been caught 3 times this season.
At the age of 40, Ichiro Suzuki is the oldest player ever with at least 10 stolen bases for the Yankees in one season. That is number 13 on the year. He gets a big jump, picks the right pitch, and with that straight leg slide right into the bag for the stolen base.
2 balls and a strike.
Close action. You can see that foot going straight into the bag. And Stowens puts the tag on.
3-1. 485th career stolen base. Ryan puts a charge in it. Dalton Pompey is back. He gets there and makes the catch. The Yankees strand a base runner. We've played 4 in New York. It's a 1-1 game. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. presented by Allstate. The weekend of September 27th and 28th, Blue Jays will take on the Orioles. There are in-game activities and great prizes to be won all weekend long. On Sunday, September 28th, one lucky fan attending the game will win the Honda Civic. So call the Blue Jays for tickets today at 416-341-1234 or log online at BlueJays.com for the Fan Appreciation Day weekend. It's all presented by Allstate.
Here's a fan appreciation. Hi, Cole. You asked Buck and I to say hello to you. There you go. Can you say hi to Cole for me?
Hi, Cole. How you doing?
Hi,
nice
Cole.
sign, too. Glad to have you here.
You make a sign, we'll get you on. We'll find you.
Yeah, it's easy. Dalton Pompey grounded out to first base. His only time up this afternoon. Pompey in 3 levels in the minor leagues this season at .317. He had 22 doubles, 9 triples, 9 homers, and 51 RBIs. In 12 games in Buffalo at AAA at .358. Had a great season.
And I think he's going to fill out just a little bit more. So young. He just hasn't gotten that man strength yet. He's going to get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. He's going to be able to run just a little bit faster. And if he continues to work and continues to learn and want to learn, there's no telling how good he can be.
That splitter gets him, and you don't see many of those in the minor leagues. That's a big league split finger pitch.
The all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle. Fit your fun. Fit whatever.
Three strikeouts, 4 strikeouts now for Tanaka. It's a 1-1 game. Tanaka now with 52 pitches. We only mention that because the Yankees have announced that he is on a pitch limit today. This is his first start since July 8th. Tanaka made his first start against the Blue Jays at Rogers Center, and the first pitch he threw in the big leagues, Melky Cabrera hit a home run. And everybody in New York shivered. $155 million for that.
Oh, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Yeah, first pitch was hit out of the ballpark. Then he came here and faced the Blue Jays. And I believe the first batter he faced, he gave up a home run in that game, too. But he is worth it. That fastball right at the bottom of the zone right there. They've thrown 5 shutouts this year. He's thrown 3 of them. And he hasn't thrown since July.
He also has 5 of the Yankees starters, 10 strikeout games. Yeah, he has certainly been a top of the rotation guy. And they needed some youth in their rotation. CC Sabathia was hurt all year. Cabrera, I don't know if he wants to come back next year.
I'll tell you, who knows where this division would be if he was healthy the whole year. CC Sabathia was healthy the whole year too, like CC Sabathia did 5 years ago. Then Ivan Nova.
Nova's been lost for the whole season. Sabathia most of the season. Pineda was out for a long period of time. Tanaka's making his first start since July.
You get those starters, giving them innings and going deeper into the ballgame with their bullpen. And Joe Girardi's ability to work that bullpen, who knows what this division would have looked like.
The Yankees have a lot of questions that need to be answered. First and foremost, who takes over at shortstop? Did you bring David Robertson back? He's a free agent. What are you going to get from Alex Rodriguez?
No idea. No idea what you're going to get from him.
Blue Jays have just as many questions, that's for sure. Full count to Goins. Tapped back out to the mound. Tanaka throws him out. 2 down. Blue Jays, their regular center fielder for most of the season, Colby Rasmus, is a free agent. Their closer, Casey Jansen's a free agent. They have options on many players, including Brandon Morrow, Adam Lind, Jay Happ, lot of things to be solved. Melky Cabrera is a free agent.
Melky's a free agent. Yeah, talk about questions. Blue Jays have as many questions as any team.
You know what's really ironic? Probably the most settled aspect of the Blue Jays for next year, starting pitching.
We couldn't say that 6 months ago, could we?
No.
There were so many questions, but they answered all those, all positive.
Jay Happ's had a fine season. And even though you could argue that, well, his record's not very good, he's pitched very well, especially in the second half of the season. I think Blue Jays pick up his option and just pencil him in and say, you know what, you're at a point in your career where we expect you to be consistent, and I think he will be. Goes, hits it to second base. Stephen Drew makes a nice play. Quick inning for Tanaka. He has pitched 5 innings. Derek Jeter will be second when we come back. We'll take on Drew Hutchison. Fifth, and we have been talking a lot about Jeter, of course, as this will be the last time the Blue Jays see Derek Jeter as a player. Bryce Harper of the Nationals, he's their left fielder, and he's a young player. He was asked about Derek Jeter. He said he's not just the captain of the Yankees, he's the captain of all of baseball. He's the true baseball player and the guy you want to be like on and off the field. That's a terrific statement from Bryce Harper.
Yeah, he's the captain of all of baseball. Isn't that the truth? And if when he leaves, when he retires, who becomes the captain of baseball? Who's the guy that you most recognize as the guy, Mr. Baseball?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Bryce Harper isn't 22 yet. He's just 21. And he's had some potholes along the way, and he's been caught saying some things that he'd sure like to have back. But, boy, that's a great statement. And I think you're right. It's a great question. Who will be the next custodian for baseball? Because Derek Jeter certainly has been that. When you think about Jeter, you could put him in the same class with Cal Ripken and Barry Larkin, Stan Musial in the early days. Guys that represented their organization, and people wanted to be associated with the Yankees because of Derek Jeter.
Spent their whole career with that one organization and set the standard. Cal Ripken, Barry Larkin, those are the first two guys that come to mind. They also were shortstops.
Well, it's a premium position, obviously, in the center of the diamond. When you think about other players that would fall into that category, Al Kaline comes to mind. I got a chance to see him play and watched him conduct himself, and he was a terrific leader. How about Willie Stargell for the Pirates? Pops was on and off the field. He was the Pirates. He was all about Pittsburgh. He was all about the Pirates. And
no question he was the leader of the Pirates.
Tony Gwynn.
Yes.
Another guy that played his entire career with the Padres. But Jeter will pass the baton to someone, and everybody is kind of thinking that someone could possibly be Mike Trout.
I think that's the first name you think of when you talk about the face of baseball or the custodian for the game of baseball. I've got another one for you. When those teams or those players win championships, Adam Jones' name for me comes to mind. He sets the standard, plays the game the right way. He does everything that you need to do to be a superstar both on and off the field.
That's a great name. And I think it will take a championship for the Orioles for Jones to get the recognition nationally as a true star and a leader. Of course, the Orioles already put him in that category, but as far as a national impact, he has to win a championship.
Yeah. Same with Mike Trout. Mike Trout's a great player.
Brett Gardner, high and deep and gone for Gardner. His 17th home run. He continues to extend his career high in homers. And the Yankees have taken the lead.
And he continues to wear out the Blue Jays. Nothing wrong with them in that time.
That home run is also home run number 15,000 for the franchise. The Yankees, the only club to hit more than 14,000, and Brett Gardner has hit his way into the record books. His home run will go down in history as the 15,000th home run hit by the Yankees.
If you caught that ball out in right field, you better hold on to it. That's a souvenir. That's a big one.
How about that? Brett Gardner came into this season with a goal of hitting more home runs. And that home run, his 17th homer of the season.
That's it.
So Derek Jeter, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. How about that? They all bring messages honoring Derek Jeter. 24 years old, all I've ever known is number 2. And a looper in the right. Bautista will play him on the hop, and Jeter has another hit.
That's what they came for. They wanted to see Jeter get a base hit. And he takes care of that. He has had some kind of series. This is the 4th game in the series for the Blue Jays. And he's got 7 hits.
And he has just knocked Drew Hutchison out of this ball game. Hutchison will hand the ball over to the manager. Derek Jeter 1 for 3. Brian McCann is the batter. And Luke the lefty will come on to face McCann. continues to add to his total against the Blue Jays, and he is far and away the leader in all-time hits against the Blue Jays franchise.
2 Hall of Fame shortstops on that list, Robin Yount and Cal Ripken, within the same division, so you're going to see a lot of games. Now Derek Jeter widens that lead over Robin Yount. 340 hits now for Derek Jeter in his career versus the Blue Jays. Also on that list, another ex-shortstop, Alex Rodriguez. Taking over for the Blue Jays will be Aaron Loup, 4-3 with 309 earned run average. He comes into this ballgame. This is where John Gibbons likes to use him, coming in to try and clean up a mess with a runner on base, inherited runners. He's done a good job of that this season. With him entering now in the 5th inning, that streak is stopped by the Blue Jays in at least 6 innings.
26 straight games of 6 innings or more from their starters. It comes to an end as Drew Hutchison goes 4 plus 2 batters here today. Brian McCann, a home run, and he's walked. Ball gets away from Navarro and goes back to the screen. That breaking ball into Derek. He waved at it with his glove, kicked off his glove, and Jeter moves into second.
Well, a lot happened on that play. Jeter bluffed over at first base, and I don't know if that had an effect or not for Luke yanking that ball by Navarro. But then McCann squared around to bunt. Watch Jeter at first base. He bluffs, and now the ball's in the dirt. It's not blocked by Navarro. McCann, we've seen him 3 times this series hit the ball the other way for a base hit. Bluffs the bunt. The ball gets by the catcher, and Jeter moves up again.
Nobody out. Ball and a strike to McCann. Brian Goins is out in right field. He's playing McCann to pull. I might not play him to pull as much against Luke. Luke has done a terrific job of inherited runners. He has stranded 76% of those inherited runners.
He creates such an angle with that pitch. From dropping down, throwing across his body, it's almost a crossfire shot towards those left-handers, and they really have to stay on it. Really keep that front shoulder in.
Two and two. Now it's a full count. That streak for the starters. The last time a Blue Jays starter didn't go 6 innings was August 22nd. Marcus Stroman went 5 innings against the Tampa Bay Rays against Drew Smyly. Smyly was terrific that day. Smyly threw the 2-hit complete game shutout. As the ball pulled, and indeed McCann pulls it to Goins in right. Jeter moves up 90 feet on the ground out.
That was when? August the 22nd? August 22nd, the last time a Blue Jay starter has not gone at least 6 innings, and that really settles down the bullpen. And the bullpen has been pitching better since then. It's not as many innings that they had to deal with.
Bullpen, yeah, they have really gotten a lot of rest. The problem over that stretch is the team record is just 13-13. Changeup, missed downstairs. It's 1-0 to Chris Young. Blue Jays are playing the infield in. They trail 2-1. We are in the bottom of the 5th. Big cut by Young.
And you look at where you are in the lineup for the Yankees. This is the cleanup hitter Young, and then Headley behind him. You're not going to try and steal a run here. I'm sure Jeter is going to not stray too far off of third base. He's probably going to make the ball go through the infield. You're already in scoring position, and you've got RBI men coming up. So he'll play it safe.
Who gets that fastball by Chris Young. Young is 2 for 11 on this homestand. He was picked up and activated from the AAA roster on September 2nd. Played in 4 games in AAA with the Yankees. There's a good change, a big strikeout for Luke. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Blue Jays are in Yankee Stadium for the final time this season. Chris Young with the strikeout. Chase Headley will bat right-handed against Loup. This is the real value of having Aaron Loup in your bullpen. No matter righty, lefty, it doesn't make any difference to him.
So when you send that switch hitter up there like a Chase Headley, doesn't matter. He's got weapons to get lefties out. He's got weapons to get righties out. Against the right-handers, he'll use that changeup just a little bit more. That was it right there. He drops it right on the outside corner. He can bust you in with that fastball. Lefties, he'll throw that slider, try and lock you up, and he's not afraid to throw his changeup to the left-handers.
Hard hit to the shortstop. 2 hopper to Reyes. And Headley's retired. The Yankees leave a runner, but they've taken a 2-1 lead. When we come back, it'll be the top of the Blue Jays order. Jose Reyes, then Jose Bautista, and Edwin Encarnacion trying to get to Tanaka. For more highlights, catch the Blue Jays in 60 seconds for the biggest plays. Most dramatic moments in every game-changing play. Blue Jays in 60 seconds after every game only on sportsnet.ca. Lower end of Manhattan by the financial district, and the Freedom Tower now is rising up high above the city in the end of the Bronx, the lower Manhattan. Reyes, Bautista, Encarnacion against Tanaka.
He's getting up there in pitches. Tanaka, that is 62 right there, so this might be his final inning. And he's getting stronger.
You have to think that the Yankees are pleased with what Tanaka has done today. According to the Yankee reports, Tanaka has a 10% tear in his ulnar collateral ligament. That is Adam Warren starting to loosen up. There's a leadoff single for Reyes. He's 2 for 3. Jose Bautista has homered in 5 of the last 6 games against the Yankees. Bautista has 34 home runs for the season, and you look at his home run spray chart, 27 of them go to left field, 6 to center, and 1. The one he hit yesterday here at Yankee Stadium to right.
We've seen him yank the left field. He's just got such great bat quickness, bat speed, where he gets the barrel out and really yanks the ball to left field. That's why you see those tape measure home runs for Bautista. Hit a couple of center field, and then the one to right field, he just muscled that ball out of the ballpark. He hit it in the right spot in this place. It's just a fly ball in Rogers Center. Here it's a home run.
285 for the season. Bautista with 101 RBIs on the season, his third 100 RBI season of his career. He is the 20th Blue Jay to have 100 RBI seasons. Joe Carter and Carlos Delgado both had 6 100 RBI seasons. George Bell, Vernon Wells, and Jose Bautista each with 3 seasons of 100 RBIs. Bouncing ball. Stephen Drew will run at Reyes and tag him out. Throw to first, not in time. Bautista hustling out of the box, stays out of the double play. Stephen Drew came into the baseline, grabbed the ball, and Reyes continued to backpedal to a point where Bautista was able to reach first.
That was the whole key, that the base running right there by Jose Reyes. He's got him going back towards first base, and he has to take a couple of extra steps to try and get the out. Might have been better off, as soon as he got Reyes turned around, throw to first base, and then they get Reyes in the rundown, and they'll end up with the double play. He just hasn't played enough second base to have a feel for that.
This is only his 27th game at second base. He had not played second before joining the Yankees. So, yeah, you're right. He knew he had a chance to tag the runner, but if he throws to first for Bautista, then they have Reyes between first and second. Encarnacion with Bautista at first. You would expect this will be Tanaka's last inning. He's now at 67 pitches, and they targeted 75 pitches for this outing.
He's looked good to me. He's got a little bit more zip on that fastball than I thought he might not have. He has rehabbed that injury. From what everything that I could read on that, there were 2 options after he got hurt: surgery or try to rehab it, strengthen up that arm so the tear doesn't get any worse. Then they elected to rehab it. He's not made a start since July.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and an interesting approach, and you can bet with the big investment they have in Tanaka, they have researched both approaches very carefully. And we know that Tommy John surgery takes 12 to 18 months to return to form. And more often than not, it's the second year for the pitcher where you really get back to where you were prior to the injury. Drew Hutchison is in his second year after the surgery. He had it late in 2012, and Hutchison's command has improved from last year. The depth of his breaking ball, everything has improved.
Everything's been a lot better. If they elected the surgery, he would have missed half of this year and all of next year. So they figure it was a small tear. They could rehab it, and he's pitching again.
There's a base hit. They cross up the shift again. Bautista stops at second. Ichiro has that strong arm. So Encarnacion feathers one through the right side. His first base hit. Joe Girardi has come out of the Yankees dugout. As you take a look at this base hit, Stephen Drew was shaded up the middle. Bautista went the other way. Encarnacion went the other way for a base hit, and Tanaka will be out of this ball game. Tanaka goes 5 1/3. Yankees have a 2-1 lead. Adam Warren is into the ball game in relief of Masahiro Tanaka. Warren pitched in the 8th inning on Friday night and struck out 2 to end that inning.
Warren also got the save on Friday night, his 3rd of the season. He's got a good fastball. Very intense on that mound. Comes right after. There's his numbers this year.
Warren pitched an inning and 2/3 and struck out 3. Didn't allow a base runner. He had 2 strikeouts, 2 groundouts. Yanner Navarro is at the plate. Bautista at second. Encarnacion at first.
How about the value right now of Jose Reyes staying out of that double play? Stays out of the double play. Encarnacion's able to squeeze one through on the right side. You get Tanaka out of the ball game, and you get Navarro up there, where a fly ball to right field could mean a 3-run home run. Jose Reyes staying out of the double play long enough for Bautista to beat it out.
Yeah, and Bautista hustled up the line to make sure that he would reach. Warren has allowed just 4 home runs this season in 74 2/3 innings. He's got that nasty sinker. Navarro has been the best clutch hitter for the Blue Jays this season. One and 2. When you look at Navarro's breakdowns as far as hitting with runners in scoring position, it's impressive what he has done. Navarro has the ability to get clutch hits even when he's behind in the count.
He'll shorten up that swing. He'll go the other way if he needs that RBI.
This time Warren strikes him out. So Navarro strikes out. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Thank you, Jamie. Tigers won 10-1 on Friday behind Justin Verlander. They won 3-2 on Saturday. Max Scherzer went to the mound. It's Rick Porcello and Jeremy Guthrie, the starters in that game in Kansas City. And Kansas City needs to win.
Yeah, Oakland now has 70 losses. Kansas City has 70 losses, and Seattle has 71 losses. Those are the three teams right now with the wild card shot.
Kansas City already has 6 hits against Rick Porcello in an inning and 2/3, and Jeremy Guthrie hasn't allowed a hit through 2 innings. Oakland beat the Phillies on Friday night. They lost 3-0 to the Phillies yesterday, and Jerome Williams beat the A's for the 3rd time this season. Phillies right-hander. But the interesting aspect of that win was it was his 3rd win for 3 different teams against Oakland this season.
I think the first major leaguer to do that.
Houston, Texas, and now the Phillies. Today it is A.J. Burnett against Scott Kazmir as they wrap up that series. Seattle, of course, in that wild card race. They won 10-5 on Friday over Houston, lost 10-1 yesterday, and today Hisashi Iwakuma goes up against Colin McHugh. Johnson now with a 2-2 count.
And we get those Seattle Mariners starting tomorrow night at Rogers Center.
Seattle so far on this road trip 3-3. And tomorrow they will begin a 4-game set against the Blue Jays at Rogers Center as the Blue Jays start their final homestand of the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Jays are down by a run. Evens are hit at 5 apiece. Hits are even at 5 apiece, and Bautista at second. See, he's into the seats.
Warren's got some good stuff. His fastball, we've seen it 95, 96. He's trying to keep it down and away to the left-handed hitting Johnson, so he can't reach the seats in right field. He's a strikeout pitcher. This whole bullpen, that Joe Girardi can run out there and can strike you out. A lot of good arms down in that Yankee bullpen.
Another strikeout, and Warren comes in out of the bullpen to put out the fight. He inherits a couple of base runners and strikes out a pair to end the inning. It's still a 2-1 Yankee lead. By Allstate. Sunday, September 28th, the Blue Jays will take on the Orioles. It's a 107 start. First 20,000 fans into Rogers Center will receive a Blue Jays warm winter hat. Call the Jays at 416-341-1234 or log online at bluejays.com and order your tickets for the warm winter hat giveaway. It's all presented by Allstate. Final day of the season for the Blue Jays, and they'll wrap things up against the Baltimore Orioles. The division champs. New pitcher into the game is Todd Redmond.
Todd Redmond pitched in this series on Friday night, just 2/3 of an inning. 2 batters, got both of them out, and John Gibbons got him out and got Loop into the ballgame. Redmond will come into the game for the 41st time this year. He's been the long man for the Blue Jays, and with the starters doing the job that they've been doing over the last month or so, Todd's workload has gone down, but he still has pitched very effectively for the Blue Jays this year, and he'll get some work today in anticipation of possibly having to start next week.
Yeah. There's a possibility Blue Jays will need a spot start, and it might be Redmond that gets the nod on Thursday. Okay, so just joining us, Marcus Stroman dropped his appeal, and the suspension was reduced to 5 games. He has started to serve that 5-game suspension, so he would be eligible to pitch on Friday. First game of the Orioles series.
Don't you think he wants to pitch against the Orioles also?
Yeah, I think that would be a very good situation where he gets to face them one more time after the incident in Baltimore. Just to get that behind him and make sure that he can move forward, go into the offseason with a clear conscience. Marcus, of course, is of the mind that that was just an accident, nothing intentional by any means. He's stated that time and time again. Redmond misses. It's now 3-1. Yankees have a 2-1 lead. A couple of solo home runs off of Drew Hutchison. Brian McCann in the first, Brett Gardner in the 5th. And Cervelli walks. Start the inning. Drew Hutchison had a very good season, his first full season. Today he made his 31st start of the season. He goes 4+ innings. That gives him 179 2/3 for the season. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, of course, 2 home runs allowed.
Just a couple of home runs, number 14,999 and 15,000 for the Yankees in their career.
At some point in his career and after his playing days, Drew Hutchison will be able to say, yeah, I gave up the 15,000th home run in Yankee Stadium. Not going to be bragging about that anytime soon.
No.
His grandkids might hear about it.
That's pretty cool, though.
Stephen Drew, the second baseman. Stephen Drew is represented by Scott Boras. Scott Boras. Steve Boras.
You know Steve Boras.
He was my coach in Kansas City. By Scott Boras. And Boras has a training facility in Florida. And Drew and Kendrys Morales were 2 free agents that didn't get signed, so they worked out in Florida, trying to stay sharp and anticipating reaching a deal. Bautista over to his right. He makes the catch. Drew's read tight. But the point of that discussion is that Drew and Morales worked out, but it certainly wasn't like going through a regular spring training. You didn't get the at-bats. You didn't get the same intensity that you get through a normal spring training, and because of that, he's had a terrible year offensively.
Yeah, game situations against major league pitchers. You can face pitching. When he was down there, and there were workouts, and I believe they played games, they were saying. But you're not facing those intense situations like you would see in spring training. And that's something that I think agents will think about this offseason if they decide to hold their players back, like we saw this year.
It might even be a case where the clubs that make those qualifying offers will find out that players are going to accept the deal. They'll go ahead and accept that contract as the qualifying offer is the average of the top 125 salaries in the major leagues.
And then become a free agent the following year. Interesting.
Well, that's a whole thing about Nelson Cruz. He signed with the Orioles late in the offseason. He played 1 year, signed a 1-year contract with the Orioles and put up big numbers.
He'll be back out there again this winter.
Ichiro pops it back. Suzuki has 2 hits this afternoon. He now has 2,939 hits. One more hit and he will tie Charlie Gehringer of the Tigers for 47th place on the all-time hits list.
And he started his big league career late. Came over here in 2001. 2,839 hits now in Ichiro's illustrious career. And I believe he had something like 1,200 hits over in Japan, something like that. It's just crazy, the hit machine that he has been.
Yeah, he has really put up big numbers, and he's been consistent throughout his career. He's now 40 years old. One and two to Ichiro. He strikes out. The breaking ball looked like Redmond backed off it a little bit and had Ichiro out in front. 2 down.
The all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle. Fit your fun. Fit whatever.
Brendan Ryan got the start at shortstop today. Derek Jeter is the DH. Ryan is from California. He is 32 years old. Started out his career with the St. Louis Cardinals. He was a 7th round pick in 2003. And parts of 4 seasons with the Cardinals. Ball and a strike. Bottom of the 6th inning. Cervelli with the leadoff walk. He is still at first. Every time one of these foul balls go into the seats, the fans are scrambling for it because it's got that Derek Jeter logo on it. And these fans are very aware.
Foul one up here. I want one of those baseballs.
That's a great souvenir.
Yeah. Got the emblem on there that we see down on the field with the 2. There it is.
Turn the baseball around. Taking a picture. You got the logo on the wrong side. 1 and 2, 2 outs. There's a drive into right. Bautista over to his right. Brendan Ryan is hitting tough luck this afternoon. That closes out the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. Kawasaki will lead things off when we come back. his first at bat. And one thing we know about Mooney, since he's joined the Blue Jays, he'll work a pitcher. When you look at the most pitches per plate appearance among the Blue Jays, Kawasaki heads the list.
That double was on the first pitch he saw from Tanaka, but otherwise, Kawasaki, he'll go up there. He's not afraid to hit with one strike. He's not afraid to hit with two strikes on him. He'll go up there, work the count, and pitchers get very careful with him, trying to place it right in there, and he's always going deep to the count. I've seen him all season long, 3-1, take a fastball, and that, I think, is just the background from where he comes from. That's good fundamental baseball. He knows who he is. He's not a big home run hitter.
Routine, and that's one thing that is preached constantly in the Japanese professional league. He goes after that pitch, and he has crossed up the Yankees today by going after first pitch a couple of different times. Blue Jays need to get something going. The Yankees have a very good back end of the bullpen when it's rested, and already Dylan Betances has gotten up, loosening up in the bullpen. Masahiro Tanaka went 5 1/3 in his return to the rotation. The Yankees have to be thrilled. They got the 70 pitch limit they were looking for. Tanaka scatters 5 hits over the 5 1/3. He had 4 strikeouts, and most importantly, he didn't walk a batter. His control was exceptional.
Very good. 5 1/3 innings, right at the 70 pitch limit. Thought his command was very good. Everything was down in the strike zone. The split was good. He mixed in a couple of curveballs. Fastball had enough zip on it.
Big test, of course, will be how he feels when he comes in tomorrow. Whether or not that elbow's barking at him again. Dalton Pompey, in case you're not familiar with it, is a switch hitter. And he can hit righty, he can hit lefty, and he has a good swing from both sides of the plate. He lifts this one to left. Chris Young back a couple of steps and quickly there are 2 outs. Adam Warren has retired 9 straight. Going back to his last appearance, he had 5 in a row to close out the game on Friday night and pick up the save.
He's got good stuff. He comes out of downward plane right after you, keeps the ball down. The back end of the bullpen, you touched on at the beginning of this inning. It is tough with Betances, who is now starting to get loose, and David Robertson, and they're well rested.
Both Betances and Robertson have had 2 days off, so you can bet they're going to be in this ball game. Roberts has not pitched in this series. Actually, he did. He pitched on Thursday. So Robertson has had 2 days off, as Betances. Ryan Goins started second base. He has struck out and grounded out. The Yankees have the 3rd best strikeout to walk ratio in the modern MLB history. They don't walk anybody. They have the power arms. Of course, these ratios are very current as strikeouts are up dramatically in the last several years. The Yankees have averaged 3.35 strikeouts for every walk. They trail only the 2014 Nationals and the 2012 Phillies. The strikeout hasn't been quite the black eye it once was for hitters.
Well, you got so many power arms out of that bullpen, and the Yankees bullpen, on top of having the great arms, they can make pitches. Look at where Warren's throwing those strikes to Goins. Those aren't center cut. Those are down and away. Fastballs at 95.
Another great pitch down and away, and Warren has retired 5 straight in this outing. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees with a 2-1 lead. Derek Jeter again will bat second when we come back to Yankee Stadium. by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle, fit your fun, fit whatever.
Brett Gardner steps to play the fifth inning to lead off and sends this ball to right field. It's a milestone home run. For Brett Gardner, it's his 17th. That's his career high. That was set last year. His previous was 8. This year he's got 17, and it's also the 15,000th home run in Yankee franchise history. It's also the difference in the game for this game and our drive of the game.
2 home runs. Brian McCann with a solo homer in the first. Brett Gardner with a solo home run in the 5th. That's been it for New York. But they have a 2-1 lead. Once again, the Blue Jays scoring in the first and can't get anything after that. 5 times on this road trip they've scored first. They are 1-5 so far. Todd Redmond came in the ball game last inning, walked the first man he faced, and then got out of the inning. Gardner got beat by that fastball. It's now 1-2. Derek Jeter will follow Gardner.
7th inning. Don't you think the cameras are going to be out for Jeter?
Might be his last at bat today. Gardner again fouls it back. Another Jeter baseball souvenir in this packed house at Yankee Stadium.
They're getting closer to us. That one was just down below us. Right off to the left.
Quickly, he can't cut it off, and Gardner's headed for second. Brett Gardner's starting to swing it a little bit. Couple of hits, 2 extra base hits this afternoon. Jeter tries to bunt, and it gets away from Navarro, and Gardner goes to third. Navarro has had a lot of trouble in this series. Ball's getting off his glove, sets up outside, and they miss all the way inside, and he couldn't react to make a play on it.
Boy, that's going to be called a pass ball on Navarro as it gets by him, and another very important 90 feet picked up by the Yankees. His 7th pass ball of the season.
Infield is in. Jeter gets that ball out over the plate. Really interesting to see the combination of signs and photos and messages we have seen throughout 4 games. And he wants to make a personal statement about Derek Jeter and what he has meant to them. 1-1. Off speed pitch. Bottom of the 7th, New York with a 2-1 lead. Trying to build on that lead. Brett Gardner's at third. Nobody out. Just barely got a piece of it to stay alive. Jeter fouled it off.
It's a pretty quick slider right there from Redmond. He throws it from the same arm angle and will drop down at times. Sometimes Jeter stayed on it just long enough just to get a piece of it.
Navarro charged with his 7th pass ball of the season. Josh Tolley, who catches the knuckleball, has 9. Jeter wouldn't chase Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, at first, waving the safe sign.
Jeter making sure that the count is 2-2.
Redmond dropped down from the side, and Jeter was still able to get a piece of it. It is absolutely incredible how many people are standing up, but not only standing up, but they're extending their iPads, iPhones, cameras, whatever it is. Everybody wants to capture this Jeter at bat. Look at everybody standing up with the iPhones and stretching their arms out, saying, okay, this is going to be my personal memory.
The whole stadium is doing this.
Jeter lines it down the left side. That's a fair ball. Gardner comes in with the 3rd run, and Jeter will end up at second base with an RBI double. Yankees.
And this place is going crazy. It's as loud as I've ever heard it here at Yankee Stadium.
Thad Redmond is out of the game. Brian McCann is the batter. Daniel Norris, the youngster, will come in to face McCann here at Yankee Stadium. Season, his 67th RBI has given the Pirates the lead. Derek Jeter, a 2-hit afternoon and an RBI double here in the 7th.
Still quick enough to get that pitch on the inner half. Redmond threw a couple of sliders away from him. That time he tried to bust him inside, and Jeter went down and got him. And during the break, during the pitching change, you see some of the young players of the Blue Jays going over to shake the hand of Derek Jeter.
Bautista goes come in. Pompey, who got his first big league hit and was congratulated by Jeter earlier. Good for them. It's a special moment, and you can forget the cord in the heat of battle when you're honoring such a great player like Derek Jeter. Good for the players. They recognize that and took advantage of the opportunity. New pitcher is Daniel Norris making his 4th appearance. First time he has stepped on the mound at Yankee Stadium.
And this got to be a lot of fun right here for him. There are his numbers in the 3 games that Daniel has pitched for the Blue Jays. He's pitched in Fenway Park. He's pitched down in Camden Yards, and now he gets a chance here at Yankee Stadium against the Yankees with Jeter out at second base to see what he can do.
Brian McCann has homered, walked, and grounded out. Nobody out. Jeter at second. Norris misses with that first pitch. Daniel Norris is just 21 years old. He's pitching to the All-Star Brian McCann here at Yankee Stadium. A lot of first out of the way for the young Blue Jays. There goes Jeter. Took advantage of the rookie.
Did he ever? Daniel Norris gives him one look, and Jeter, with all his experience and all his knowledge in the game of baseball, just stole that one right on the pitcher. He gave him one look. He timed it up. Watch Jeter. He's off and running. Don't you know that Daniel Norris is going to learn from that?
Well, if anybody thinks that Derek Jeter is mailing it in the last week of the season, you can forget that. He's in position now at third with nobody out. And this is the essence of what Jeter has been about. Puts his teammates in a position to pick up an RBI, expand the lead.
Hey, we were having a discussion before the ball game about, is he going to play those games in Boston, those last 3 games of the season? Darn right he's going to play those games, because he's all about competing. It's all about trying to win ball games.
There's a high fly ball to right. Bautista looking up. McCann has done it again. His second home run of the afternoon. This is a 2-run homer. That's his 22nd home run of the season. And the Yankees have taken a 5-1 lead.
22 home runs now on the season for McCann. He got it all started in the first inning with the home run off of Drew Hutchison. Scores Derek Jeter. And the Yankees have bumped it up to 5-1. Fastball out over the plate. You can see why you want to fill up your lineup with left-handed hitters. That ball was away from McCann. And in this ballpark, all you have to do is get the head out and pull that ball to right field. It's going to be a home run.
Chris Young takes one upstairs. McCann, 22 home runs now, 71 RBIs, and that's exactly what you would expect to get from Brian McCann.
Derek Jeter, I was looking up that was his 17th double of the season, 542nd of his career. Yikes.
A changeup from Norris, and he's ahead 1-2. Still nobody out. Gardner doubled to start the inning. Jeter had an RBI double and scored on McCann's home run. 2 runs are charged to Todd Redmond. Redmond goes an inning plus 2 batters, gives up 2 hits and 2 runs, had a strikeout and a walk. This is hit high into the air into right. Bautista coming in. He makes the catch. Young is retired. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Michael Saunders missed significant time with an injury and comes up with a big hit in a tough stretch of games for Seattle. They're in the midst of an 11-game road trip, their final road trip of the season. Anaheim for 3, Anaheim for 4, Houston for 3, and Toronto for 4.
And for Seattle, no trip is an easy trip.
Now,
they put on some miles during the summer. Anaheim, Houston, Toronto, and then back home to finish it off.
Detroit has tied up Kansas City 2-2. Headley pulls it foul. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Pittsburgh has a 1-0 lead over the Brewers. Another tight game in Pittsburgh. Oakland will play later on this afternoon. They will have Philadelphia in Oakland. A.J. Burnett against Scott Kazmir. The Giants are in San Diego. Ryan Vogelsong against Ian Kennedy. That'll be a later on start.
Heading into the final week of the baseball season, and there are pennant races everywhere.
3-2 count to Chase Headley. He fouls it back. There's some great games going on, and the Tigers, as we mentioned, they have tied it up in Kansas City. Ian Kinsler has hit his 16th home run this afternoon. Another foul off the bat of Headley. In Kansas City, Andrew Romine sack fly to score J.D. Martinez. That's how the Tigers have tied it up. Headley will take ball 4. Seattle will be at Rogers Center starting tomorrow night. It'll be a 4-game series, and Seattle, of course, still alive in the wild card race. Well, Blue Jays mathematically alive, but it'll be James Paxton starting it out. The Canadian, a good start to his season at 6-3. Felix Hernandez, boy, he is getting stronger down the stretch, 14-5 with a very good ERA. Taijuan Walker, the youngster, he'll go on Wednesday night, and Chris Young will wrap things up. The only starter that the Blue Jays won't see is Sasha Iwakuma, who's pitching today in Houston.
And he's been tough on the Blue Jays in the past. The Seattle Mariners have the best ERA in the American League, 3.09. So it's going to be tough for the Blue Jays. They also have the finest fielding team in the American League. They've committed the fewest errors and have the highest fielding percentage.
Robinson Cano, their big acquisition in the offseason as a free agent. He was the Yankees' second baseman, of course. And Cano has had a very good first season with Seattle. Cano batting .320 at the start of play today. Cano has 182 hits. No transition issues for Cano. Ball on a strike to Cervelli. Now it's ball 2. Daniel Norris into the game in relief of Todd Redmond. First batter he faced, Brian McCann, hit a 2-run homer. Young flied out to right, and then Norris walked Chase Headley.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for young pitchers to get in on this situation. You say, well, what's the big deal? It allows them to say, okay, I've done that. It's nothing new. If you sit around all winter, make the ball club next year, and then come to Yankee Stadium, you're going to be shell-shocked. I mean, this is a tough place to play, along with Fenway Park. It's a tough place to play. So I like that John Gibbons is getting his young players into this atmosphere.
Daniel Norris, just 21 years old. He's from Johnson City, Tennessee. Cervelli drives it high and deep to right. Bautista is up against the wall. He makes the catch. Here's the throw back to first. Headley hustles back into first. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. Back and forth for sure. Kansas City trying to salvage the final game of this series. They lost the first 2. Bautista reaching out to find out how much room he has in right.
Right up against that wall. And he hauls it in. As you see the fans, I'm sure they were giving it to him as he went up against that wall, but he hauls it in.
Stephen Drew goes after that first pitch breaking ball. In Kansas City, Jim Johnson is into the game for the Tigers. Rick Porcello is out, and Jim Johnson has had a terrible season. He was traded in the offseason from Baltimore to Oakland. Got off to a bad start in Oakland and was eventually let go. Tigers picked him up, and he hasn't been much better for Detroit. Ball and a strike to Stephen Drew, the Yankees' second baseman. New York has scored 3 runs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Headley not really a threat to steal. You know, baptism by fire into these kind of places, it's tough. You've played in this atmosphere. You've played in this atmosphere during playoffs.
Nothing quite like it. But of course, when I played in the playoffs, I was in my 6th season. And it was still nerve-wracking. Kendall Graveman, another one of the September call-ups, is ready in the bullpen. He is standing by. He's already loosened up. Yeah, it's a terrific atmosphere and one that good players want to play in.
Mm-hmm.
1-2, 2 outs. The Yankees have hit 3 home runs this afternoon. McCann has hit a pair, a solo shot and a 2-run home run, and Brett Gardner has hit a solo home run. Norris strikes out Drew to end the inning, but the Yankees score 3 runs on 3 hits, and Brian McCann's second home run of the afternoon. 5-1 New York. And they trail New York 5-1, and the Yankees got 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Brett Gardner with a double, Derek Jeter with an RBI double, and Brian McCann with the second home run of the afternoon. And the Blue Jays, unfortunately, haven't been able to really break through against the Yankees. Tanaka was good to start out. Blue Jays scored a run in the first, but that's been it.
Yeah, they've been doing that. I think that's been the theme of this whole road trip, is the Blue Jays jump out on top early in the first inning, early in the ball game, and then the offense goes in a tank. The pitchers start to get a little bit better, and then you have to face these tough bullpens. We saw it in Baltimore, the great bullpens they have here. Or there, and now we have it here with Dylan Matanzas is going to come in. Look at these crazy numbers that he has put up. 5-0 with a 1.3 earned run average. 132 strikeouts out of the bullpen. That's a record for the Yankees. He's averaging 13 per 9 innings. He's got a great fastball and a wicked curveball.
Ghost bunts it up the first baseline. Cervelli is going to cut him off and step on the bag. Ghost pulled it up the first baseline. Cervelli making just his 3rd start of the season at first base. He's a regular backup catcher, but Ghost tried to reach with a bunt.
Yeah, not a bad idea, but then he stops for some reason right here. And Cervelli says, oh, well, I'll just go over and just touch the bag and get him. Maybe he can run by him and try to avoid him, or maybe slide into the bag. But he stops, and Cervelli says, I'm not going to chase you around the diamond. I'm just going to go over and touch first.
So Cervelli cut off the path as Reyes goes after the first pitch, and Jose Reyes with another 3-hit ball game here in New York. He had 3 hits on Friday night, had a couple of hits on Thursday night. He has had 8 hits in the 4 games. Well, Betances has been the big 8th inning guy, and what a breakthrough season it has been for him. The Yankees have been waiting a long time on Dellin Betances. He grew up in New York. He was an 8th round pick of the Yankees in 2006. And he had a cup of coffee in 11. He did not get to the big leagues in 12, and he was in 6 games in 13. So this is his rookie season, and a breakthrough season it is.
We've been hearing his name for years, that he was a big prospect, but until he harnessed that great stuff, he was very ineffective. He was a starter in the minor leagues. He has transitioned into the bullpen. He's an all-star.
Well, it took him a long time to develop, and he, as you mentioned, was a starter in the minor leagues, but he went to the Arizona Fall League, and there were no openings in the rotation, so he had to pitch out of the bullpen, and that's when everything really came together for him. Reyes was off on the pitch, and ball gets away from McCann. It's ruled a stolen base for Reyes. That's his 29th stolen base of the season. Nasty breaking ball. McCann tried to backhand it, and it just kicked off his glove.
Reyes said in spring training he was going to get 30 bags this year. So he's off by 1 on that right now. And you stay out of the double play.
Well, there's a nasty breaking ball, and Bautista strikes out. Betances with another strikeout.
You can just make good hitters buckle at that breaking ball. Watch this one. Jose gives up on it, and it's right there. It's a hard breaking ball. Combined with that fastball, he's 6'8". So it looks like he's reaching out and placing that ball in that catcher's glove.
Has 133 strikeouts in 88 1/3 innings. And there's another good hitter bending back from that breaking ball. Encarnacion takes strike 1. Now the Yankees are challenged with the question, can Betances be the closer?
David Robertson, I believe, is a free agent.
Reyes takes off for 3rd. It is his 30th steal of the season.
But you're right, David Robertson is a free agent, and there's talk that maybe Betances becomes the closer.
Obviously, at first glance, he looks like he's got closer stuff. This ball is hit hard to right. Ichiro is back. This ball is off the wall. Reyes comes in to score. Encarnacion picks up the RBI. Edwin's 2nd hit of the afternoon and his 91st ribby of the season.
3 hits in yesterday's ball game. He homered on Friday night's game. He is starting to heat up just again. This ball is covered. Fastball down and away, and Edwin smokes it to right field, right off the base of the wall. For a single, it was hit so hard. 5-2.
Janner Navarro is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Betances throws a 99-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1. Breaking ball just wide of first. Oh, and 2. Just off the outside edge.
We talked about it last inning about guys who can come in and throw hard, but if you can't command it, big league hitters are going to turn around that fastball. The Yankees, because they get so many strikeouts, they command that baseball. Put the fastball where they want to, that breaking ball where they want to. Look at all the pitches right there to Tiana Navarro. Not one of them in the strike zone or right down the middle. Hitting is hard enough. You start placing the baseball where the Yankees have been placing it.
At 98 and 99,
yeah.
You can forget getting a lot of hits. Outside. Betances comes into this game with an opponent's batting average of 141. So not only does he strike out a lot of batters, he doesn't give up many hits. 42 hits, now 43 hits in 88 2/3. There's a drive to right. Ichiro is over to his right, and the inning is over. Blue Jays get a run. It's a 5-2 Yankee lead. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. NHL Game Center Live. Get live out of market regular season games on your phone, laptop, or tablet. Live stream over 1,000 games. Rogers NHL Game Center Live. Check it out. We move to the bottom of the 8th at Yankee Stadium. The final game between the Yankees and the Blue Jays this season. And Dustin McGowan comes on in relief, making his 52nd appearance.
In first in this series, McGowan will pitch against the Yankees in this 4-game series for the first time. 52nd game for Dustin this season. Since moving to the bullpen, opponents are hitting just .212 against McGowan. He is up to his strikeout total coming out of the bullpen. It's a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Dustin coming out of that pen. He throws hard. His fastball's been better. He's been cutting it a lot better, and his breaking ball's been better. So I'll get a chance to face the bottom 2 in the Yankee order.
Ichiro Suzuki has a 2-hit afternoon. Brendan Ryan, starting at shortstop, is over 3. Pitch is down and in. This is our final road game of the season. We want to make sure we acknowledge our great TV crew down in the truck. Producer Doug Walton and producer Rick Brigju. They put together great game plans for us every single day of the season, and it's a pleasure to come to work and look forward to a great day at the ballpark. Ichiro hits a hot shot, handled by Johnson. The directors of our show, Troy Clara and Jeff Mather, they're the ones that call for all the shots and give you fans a chance to see the great shots around the ballpark, and not only on the field, but the ones that are kind of interesting in the stands, like the little girl throwing back the Derek Jeter baseball. The directors are very important to the flow of a ball game, and we acknowledge their great help. Tom Clark, he's the man that delivers the pictures on the command of the director. He's a terrific technical director. But we've been together for a long time, and the crew has traveled around the country for a number of years. Chris Dahl has been our first cameraman for years. The lead EBS operator in the truck, Mike Sparks, who heads up the tape room and gives you all those great instant replays over the course of the summer, both home and road. And Pat and I, we couldn't operate without our man in the booth, Scott Carson, the great stats man. He's the finest stats man in the business. He gives you all the information and keeps you up to date with everything that's going on. But it's been an honor to work with this crew. They have done a great job, and we want to acknowledge all of the people that work in the truck. Jeff Whipple is a Chiron operator that makes sure all of the stats get to the television that you can see, and he helps out Scott Carson. It's a great crew and a great family. We travel around and spend a lot of time together, and it's a lot of fun to come to work every single day. They make our job very easy.
Been together a long time, a lot of these guys. I know Chris, over 30 years now doing Blue Jay baseball.
I've had the honor and pleasure of working with these guys, and I'll put them up against anybody in the business. They come to work every day. They're all great baseball fans, and right now they're all rooting for their own private teams, and I'm not going to tell you who they are.
We hear enough of that from Chris. That's our high home cameraman.
But we have a lot of fun, and we are very proud of our TV production crew, that's for sure. There's a high pop out of play, and then Ryan has had a tough day at the plate, but he's part of a winning effort. Yankees are up 5-2. The Orioles will come into Yankee Stadium tomorrow night. They'll start a 4-game series Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, and Thursday night. It'll be the final game for Derek Jeter here at Yankee Stadium. You're getting closer, Pat. That one was just next door.
I know. Did Coney make a catch over there? David Cone is in the house here. I wonder if he made a catch on that one. I want one of those baseballs. Derek, foul it up here. Let's go.
A great crowd on hand at Yankee Stadium this afternoon for sure. And it's going to be the same for the next series when the Orioles are here.
Remember last year when Mariano Rivera had his final game here at Yankee Stadium, and they did something very special. Jeter went out, and I believe Pettit went out to take him out of the ball game, and it was a really cool thing that they did. I wonder if they have anything planned for Derek Jeter.
Yeah, I'm sure they do have something planned, but it's hard to figure out what that would be.
It'll depend on the ball game.
Yeah, he's not going to allow them to take him out of a game if the outcome of the game is still in question.
And with Mariano Rivera as a reliever, you can pick your spots where you can do things.
But you know, Joe Girardi wants to do it right. He was a teammate of Jeter's as a player. Now he's his manager. And I would think Girardi would take it as an honor to manage Derek Jeter in his final game at Yankee Stadium, and he wants to treat that with the due respect. Be interesting.
Yeah.
And then there was the question, well, do you think Jeter will play after his final game at Yankee Stadium? Well, of course he will. He's a player. He goes ballpark. He expects to play. He'll play the final 3 games in Boston.
And they're great fans in Boston, and they get that. And I'm sure they'll want to see him, and he'll want to play in front of them.
Quite a battle going on here between McGowan and Brendan Ryan. Full count. 1 out. This one's pulled to third. Kawasaki goes across the diamond. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. That is a tough assignment for Seattle. Go on the road and play this long road trip when you're trying to get into the playoffs. And you look at that team. Jake Marisnick is playing center field for the Houston Astros, former farmhand of the Blue Jays. He's gotten a lot of playing time. And Colin McHugh is the starter for the Astros.
And playing a team that is out of it, really not anything to play for. The pressure's off. Just go out there. All the pressure's on the Seattle Mariners.
Iwakuma is out of the game. Carson Smith is in. He's a youngster, and he is into the ball game in Houston. He has struck out the only 2 batters he's faced so far. So for the time being, he has calmed things down. Michael Saunders is 2 for 2 with a home run and a pair of RBIs. It's a great time of the year. You like to look around and see all the great games going on. David Robertson is standing by in the bullpen. Philadelphia and Oakland just underway. They're in the top of the first in Oakland. Popped up and playable left side of the infield. Kawasaki calls for it, makes the catch. McGowan throws 15 pitches, and Derek Jeter left standing on deck. He will not get another at bat unless the Blue Jays tie it up. Hey, you guys trying to win? Around independent races, we'll take you there live out to Kansas City right after this game. They're in the bottom of the 5th. The Royals have a 4-2 lead over the Tigers. The Tigers have won the first 2 games in this series, so make sure you stay tuned right here on Sportsnet for some more great baseball action. Kansas City can ill afford to lose another game. They'll fall off the pace indeed. David Robertson making his 60th appearance of the season.
Robertson was the winning pitcher on Thursday night in that game here. He came in to pitch the 9th inning. He had a 1-2-3 inning and then was a benefactor of a run being scored in the bottom of the inning as the Yankees won that game 3-2. Robertson, the closer for the New York Yankees, and there are his sparkling numbers: 37 saves and 41 opportunities. He too, like Betances, has got a lot of strikeouts in that right arm. Good fastball and a very good curveball.
So for the Blue Jays, it'll be Dan Johnson and Kawasaki. and Dalton Pompey, the scheduled hitters here in the ninth. Dan Johnson was hit by a pitch in the fourth. He is 0 for 2. Ball on the strike. It's a fly ball. Suzuki moving into the alley. He gets there, makes the catch. Johnson's retired.
David Robertson has thrown 60 2/3 innings this year. He's got 21 base on balls and 90 strikeouts. I mean, that's dominant. And everybody was wondering who was going to take over for Mariano Rivera, the great Mariano Rivera, with over 600 saves to his credit. Well, they found him right through their farm system.
And now they have to decide whether or not they're going to re-sign him. He is a free agent, but he has stepped up. Munenori Kawasaki doubled in his first at bat. He's gone 1 for 3 in the afternoon. The Yankees, if they win this game, will have 41 wins at home. Kawasaki, that's a fair ball, knocked down by Cervelli. In time at first, 2 down. If the Yankees win this game, they'll take the season series 11-8. They have beaten the Blue Jays, if they win this game, 7 of the 10 times here at Yankee Stadium. This continues to be a tough stop for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays finally broke that, I don't know what you want to call it, that losing streak here earlier this year when they finally won a series and they finally won a ball game. Something like 17 in a row that the Yankees had beaten them here. But they also won that series right at the end of July.
It was the first series win they had had since 2001. Dalton Pompey had his first big league hit here at Yankee Stadium. Pompey singled in his first at bat on Friday night against Hiroki Kuroda. His first big league start. Two balls and a strike to Pompey. Blue Jays are down to their final strike. They got to see Derek Jeter for a final time. He was the DH this afternoon and ended up 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored.
Multiple hit games, all 4 games in this series. Amazing. 2 hits in each game. Blue Jays had a streak against the Yankees. 13 straight games where they have hit a home run. And unless Dalton can launch one here, that's going to come to an end also.
Pompey stays alive. The Blue Jays, with a loss here this afternoon, would drop to 1-6 on this road trip. Certainly had high expectations when they left Rogers Center last Sunday. Pompey walks. George Kataris will pinch hit for Ryan Goins. Kataris joined the Blue Jays mid-season. Played at Buffalo, was called up in September. He spent time with Cleveland, St. Louis, and Toronto this season. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, out to talk to Robertson very briefly. Adam Lind is out on deck. Kataris is 0 for 1 in his only at bat with the Blue Jays. Here goes Pompey. He will go to second, and it will be defensive indifference. Jeter and Beltran very relaxed here this afternoon. The Yankees have a 3-run lead. Kataris out in front.
That is Robertson's big strikeout pitch right there. That big curveball.
0-2. One and two. Bounced foul. Kataris stays alive. Brian Goins started at second. He finishes up 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. That's the ball game. The Yankees win it 5-2. They hit 3 home runs today, and Derek Jeter gets 2 more hits to improve his total to 341. He's the all-time hits leader against the Blue Jays.
And he gets to walk off the field once again. He gets to shake hands with his teammates and win one more time against the Blue Jays. We've been watching him for a long time. And he gets to do it one more time against Toronto. Blue Jays head home now to face Seattle.
We will be with you tomorrow night, 1st of 4 against the Mariners. The Blue Jays go 1-6 on the road trip. More baseball coming up, but first, here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn.